Well, hello, my friend, and thank you for joining me once again as we continue our Journey at the Burning Bush mini-series within our devotional series as we discover more and more about the Lord and His ways. So today we come to one of these passages that, quite frankly, I've struggled with earlier in my life, but now that I'm getting to know the heart of God better and better, now I love this passage rather than going, what? So let's take a look at it. As Moses is having a chat with God at the burning bush, and God says this. Exodus chapter 4, verse 11. The Lord said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Or who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord?" Now that might be kind of hard to swallow for most of us. God is the one who, as He knits a baby in his mother's womb and the whole DNA thing, He makes them blind, He makes them mute, He makes them deaf. That doesn't seem like a very gracious Creator to me. Oh, but my friend, you see, it makes Him a mysterious Creator. The mysteries of God are referred to throughout the Scripture. And this is a reference to those deeper things that we don't quite understand at the outset, but the more we get to know His heart, the more we do understand. So what do we do with this thing about the idea that it is God, not Satan or sin, that makes these babies that come out deaf or blind or all? Well, first of all, let's not give Satan that much power. God's the one who's ultimately in control of all things. Laying that aside for another day, it's pretty academic actually. God is overall in control. So what do we do with this thing about, well, let's take deaf, for example. Why do we think that God making a baby deaf is a bad thing, a cruel thing, an unkind thing? I remember there was a wonderful movie that came out, I guess 20-something years ago now, about a family who had a dad who could hear and a mom who was born deaf herself, grew up in the culture of the deaf community, her parents also deaf, in that deaf community, leaders there. And the little boy that this couple had, by the time he was 10 or 12, had gone to the doctor and discovered that the doctor had an option for them. We have a new procedure that in his case, we may be able to restore his hearing. It's a risky surgical procedure, but we're seeing pretty good success. What would you like for us to do? And the movie's about how the hearing father and the deaf mother could not agree on what was best. Well, at first blush, why wouldn't you want a child, the man argued, to have hearing and have a fuller life? And the woman, his wife, said, what do you mean a fuller life? Are you suggesting because I'm deaf, I don't have a fuller life? My parents, being deaf, didn't have a fuller life? We have our own language. We have our own lives. We're fine. How dare you suggest that hearing would make it better? And when you start thinking that through, that is a lively debate, but it reveals the prejudice we have, assuming that deafness or blindness is a lesser life. Oh, my friend, God gives us all limitations. They vary, but it's those limitations that help us experience a blessing and a grace from Him that we wouldn't experience otherwise. He is our mysterious Creator. He does mysterious things, and the joy of life in Him is discovering the deeper things that He has for us. He is our mysterious Creator, so keep listening for those whispers of God.